Singaporeans will pay more for their National Disability Insurance Scheme and receive higher claims payouts starting next year. This follows the first review of CareShield Life since its launch in 2020. Now, to help citizens with the rising premiums, the government will provide $570 million over the next 5 years to defray the costs. Sabrina Ng with more.
36-year-old Alvin Yap is a caregiver to his senior parents. His father has dementia and his mother is disabled. Both seniors require help with daily activities like meals, dressing and showering. And the burden of such caregiving needs is putting a lot of stress on his mind and pockets. Mr. Yap says he spends up to 4,000 Singapore dollars per month caring for them.
She requires diapers, milk, wet wipes, ongoing medication. For my dad-wise, we need to hire another helper to manage his emotions and his behavior as well as his day-to-day needs. Yeah.
To better support families like Mr. Yap amid rising long-term care costs and inflation, the government will double the payout growth rate of CareShield Life from 2% to 4% yearly. The enhanced monthly payout for the National Disability Insurance Scheme will look something like this for the next 5 years. But premiums will also increase to sustain the higher payouts. From next year, those enrolled in the scheme will see premiums rise by an average of 38 Singapore dollars, up to 75 Singapore dollars annually. The government will provide transitional support to cushion this impact on top of existing subsidies. Let's take a look at how these enhancements translate into a medical bill. Take, for instance, Mr. A. Mr. A is a 55-year-old CareShield Life policy holder with a severe disability. He has a per household capital income of around $1,500. Mr. A spends around $2,700 each month on long-term care needs, such as medication and caregiving-related costs. Now, through this series of government subsidies and support, a significant portion of his monthly bill will be paid for. On top of that, CareShield Life payout will further reduce his out-of-pocket bills. This means that Mr. A pays around $110 out-of-pocket each month. Now, this expense can also be paid for through his MediSave if he chooses to. One financial expert says the increased payouts will help mitigate rising medical inflation. However, he stresses that Singaporeans need to review their own private insurance to keep the country's healthcare spending sustainable.
A lot of Singaporeans are doing better and better each day, and now they want better healthcare. And because they want better healthcare, they upgrade their insurance plan. And when they upgrade their insurance plan, we all know the problem, right? That causes medical inflation, that caused insurance premiums to be unsustainable. And hopefully what we have witnessed in the IP plans, we don't witness the same for the CareShield Life supplements, right? So I think that is the part that is more worrying.
The enhanced payouts and premiums will apply from next year to 2030 and will be reviewed by the government after.
And for more analysis, we speak now with Dr. Goh Jing Rong, Assistant Professor of Economics in Practice from the SMU School of Economics. He's also a council member of the Singapore Actuarial Society. Dr. Goh, welcome to Singapore Tonight. So CareShield Life premiums set to rise by up to $75 annually. What does this mean for the average policyholder in real terms? Will it still be affordable for most Singaporeans?
Thank you for having me, Sharida. Frankly speaking, when premiums rises, I think it's not one thing that anybody likes, right? Especially for the low-income households, where this increase is likely to take out a larger proportion of their income. However, I also like us to be cognizant of the fact that Singaporeans, as a whole, we are all living longer, and as such, disability risk rise, coupled with the global trends where long-term care costs is also spiking up. What that means is that the benefit payouts need to also rise in tandem to ensure that the payouts from the scheme remain meaningful for the policyholders who are claiming from the scheme. And when benefits increase, it's only inevitable that premiums have to rise as well to ensure that the overall scheme remains sustainable. On the question of affordability, I do think that for the average policyholder, it still remains affordable, especially since it's still fully payable by Medisave and helps to minimize the out-of-pocket expenses.
Okay, and we also understand the government is reinstating the scheme's underwriting criteria. Help us understand why this decision and what impact would it have on the people?
Right. So yeah, that's a great point. So essentially, it will help to reduce the cost arising from adverse selection. So what's adverse selection? Simply put, imagine you have an elderly man who's never enrolled in the CareShield Life scheme. So he has never paid any premiums. However, one day he wakes up, he finds that he's not feeling well, he's suffering from disability. And in the absence of underwriting, this elderly man would then be able to enroll in the CareShield Life, pay a couple of months of premium, and start enjoying the benefits of the claims from the CareShield Life. So it's kind of like gaming the system, and that is something that reinstating of the underwriting criteria is trying to prevent. So when the government tries to reinstate the underwriting criteria, it will help to keep the cost low and helps to ensure that the premiums remain more moderate and fair and sustainable for the current policyholders.
To help with to defray the costs, Dr. Goh, the government is helping with a $570 million subsidy. So how significant is this support and who stands to gain the most from it?
Right, so it's a sizable, significant subsidy. Specifically, it's the transitional subsidy that is meant to offset like the premiums increase that we expect to see in the next few years. Out of the 570 million, about 440 million, about 77% of it will be used to provide support to offset premiums increase for all policyholders. Whereas the remaining 130 million, which is about 23%, will be used to provide additional support for the lower and middle income households. So naturally, I would think that the lower middle income households will stand to gain the most from this 570 million subsidy.
Given these changes, Dr. Goh, do you expect more people to consider incorporating private insurance to complement their long-term care needs?
I do actually. Personally, that's what I've been doing as well. I do see like CareShield Life, end of the day, I think it serves as a foundation, a cornerstone for any individual planning for their long-term care needs. At the end of the day, I do feel that any individual, they should take the responsibility of planning for their own long-term care into their own hands. So if, for instance, I feel that I need more long-term care coverage as I age, naturally I would supplement it with additional private insurance. Yes, so with that in mind, we also look at the trends globally. Long-term care costs are rising, and as such, I do expect more individuals to supplement that with additional private insurance.
Dr. Goh, appreciate your insights. Thank you so much for that. That was Assistant Professor Goh Jing Rong from SMU. He's also council member of the Singapore Actuarial Society.